many of y'all on top of your money? According to, hold on one second, where is this thing? I'm going to read just a couple stats to you guys as far as finances. According to the Global Atlantic, 66% of Americans are considered underserved, uneducated, or deficient in the arena of financial literacy. So we're going to take by 3. You good, brother. You, finances trash. You good. You, finances in a shamble. You good. Sister, you, my little man, finances are fragile. It's not a joke, man. It's real talk. And we do not, stats. On the average, U.S. adults answered only 49% of financial literacy questions correctly. We have been, especially as a people, we've been miseducated forever. Forever, as far as from life insurance to traditional banking system, now understand that we've been financially pimped from these financial institutions forever. Your commercial banks, your credit unions, your favorite neighborhood credit union, we get pimped. You with me? How many stats? If I ask you, Rob, if I ask you, man, what kind of interest rate they giving you on your passbook savings account, would you know it? Don't worry, as these are rhetorical. If I say, man, what kind of interest rate you getting on your WG, on your checking account? Let me give you some real live examples. Navy Federal, everybody got Navy Federal, right? Navy Federal pays 0.25%. You hear me? A quarter of 1 point on your passbook savings account. NASA going to challenge them. NASA going to give you 0.1%. And guess what? That's before taxes. And guess what you're getting on your checking account? 0. So we're severely miseducated on our finances. But we're taught, I come from Southeast, I come from walking the hallways of hell. You hear me? But when I had my Mayor Barry summer job and I went to home, ain't no Caucasian come to my house say, man, you need a checking account and a savings account. Nah, that came from my parents. But my parents didn't know that, okay, well, when we give the banks our deposit, we're doing what you call a bail-in, right? Which means we're giving them the approval to do whatever the hell they want with the money. You feel me? They're going to exercise what you call fractional reserve banking, which means for every dollar we give them, they can take 90% of that, put it out in the street, and make money. But guess what? If I'm a traditional lender, if I'm a hard money lender or a loan shark, if I give you my money, it's 2 things I want back. What I want back? You want your money back, your principal, and what else? Some kind of interest. So if I give you my money because I'm doing a bail-in, which is a loan, ain't nobody jump out there from Bank of America and say, give me your goddamn money. They ain't doing it the scheme-ass way. We voluntarily sashayed on into the bank and gave my money, right? Because that's what we were taught. So if I give you my money, you take my money, you put it to work. Oh, they get money off your money, the community's money. But they're not passing on any of the profits to you and I. You're getting pimped. You're getting financially pimped. And because the kids in here, I won't say what we're defined as, right? So, but then we turn around, I got gorilla credit. Last time I bought something major, my score was 4 points shy of a perfect score. So why are you giving me credit cards at 19.99% for purchases? And God forbid I need a cash advance to join 29.99%. But guess what, y'all? Who money we borrowing? Your own money, man. It's so much that needs to be educated. There are things out there like private equity banking, infinite banking. And y'all familiar with that? My man. So you got people making this money. The statistics shows that, hold on, let me see something. Hold on one second. I ain't gonna be long because Todd ain't gonna give me long. Hold on. We always get the least amount of time in finance. According to Investopedia, Money Fit, 78% of former NFL players face bankruptcy or financial hardship within 2 years. NBA players, which is more in y'all's line of work, right? 60% of NBA players within 5 years. So now you got kids becoming adults. They're going out there, they're getting this money, right? They're getting the money. But then at this time, Mr. Tapscott, they ended up in a bad position. You've probably seen it a million times, sir. I went to school at the math with your cousin. Right. Yeah. So Now, mind you, what's going to happen now with this NIL money? So now the clientele that's getting the bread is even younger. What's going to happen? Do y'all have a role in playing? Do y'all play a role as these coaches in trying to guide them? But you can't guide nobody when you broke. Not for real. Y'all young cats, man, there are ways, man, to create our own bank. Stuff that this ain't just made up. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Kennedys, they were doing this stuff back in the Great Depression. Well, we now become our own bank. We've been conditioned. We've been educated, basically brainwashed to be the earners and the spenders. But somebody else, always the lender. Bank of America, BMW. How about if we learn how to create our own private equity banks? We create our own personal economies. You feel me? And now we become that person, so we close the circle because you know what? In the black communities, money leaves our circles, they say at an alarming rate within 3 to 6 hours, right? But let me say something, man. So now the big thing is, keep the money in your community. WG, Tim, you got to keep that money at home. But look at me, I got a black lawyer. I got a black doctor. I got a black CPA. I got black trainers at the gym. Hell, I go to black parties, right? But every time I allocate some of my hard-earned assets to one of these people, ain't none of that money coming back to me. Yeah, I did the job in my community, but I still end up lowering my net worth. And then I got to adjust my balance sheet. All this stuff ain't nothing but about just getting educated. So I had to learn how to put policies and procedures in place to keep that money in-house. And since I last heard, I'm black. So if I keep it in-house, then I'm checking both boxes, right? Mook, we checking both boxes. So imagine this, and I'm going to close out. Imagine this, guys. Any of y'all dealing with, imagine being able to keep that same lifestyle, that same bling-bling joint. I can still, I don't know, get me some, a Bentley, nice house, go to Jake the jeweler. I can still do it. Imagine being able to keep that same lifestyle, but the money never leaving your personal economy. Because we now place ourselves as the lender to go along with being the earners and the spenders. And this might sound like it's the same way as the stuff y'all was talking about earlier. Man, I was taking notes on my phone because I'm an aggressive listener, right? I'm taking notes. I was going to try to impress y'all with all the stuff, but I ain't got time to read all the stuff. I was writing down in the things that y'all learned. I'm like, damn, basketball that difficult? Is that complicated for real? Because he was doing the one he was telling you. I was like, how the hell he remembering all that? We don't, if you get you a finance dude and he trying to keep numbers in his head, again, you better run for the hills. You better hope he got an HB12C, his calculator, you feel me? So anyway, man, the reality is this. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we got to be on top of our game with this money thing. There are opportunities out here, man, that can really change your life and change the trajectory of your family's life. There are programs out here, man, that digital assets, man, is the best performing asset class in the history of our world. Y'all ever heard the S&P 500? Okay, over the last 15 years, the S&P 500 has averaged like 11% per year in return, right? You look at a digital asset product, I'm going to give you an example because everybody's heard of it. Y'all heard of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has averaged over 150% per year, even with the drops in the valleys, because that's when you buy, right? But anyway, if you take 150 and divide it by 11, that means that it probably goes in close to 15 times, 14, 15 times. So imagine taking a savings program or an investment, because they're different, shoot some, what they call it, steroids into the veins of it, put a turbocharged engine up under the hood, and throw that joint in the microwave. These are the kind of investment programs right now that are available to us. But you have to learn to recognize opportunities and manage risk. You feel me? It's an equity product. No, just like if you're doing NVIDIA or you're doing Microsoft or something, there are levels to it. And I could go on and on, and I'll start going all over the place. At the end of the day, gentlemen, we got to get up on top of our game. We can help out some. It's another stat. 35% of the people who have these advisors, right, that's supposed to be looking out. How they ended up, I know more than 1/3, Mr. Tascott had advisors, right?
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. I mean, something was supposed to be happening, so why we continue to be in these positions, guys? It has to be something a little more learned at the fetal stage, at the ground floor, and that's the miseducation coming from our houses. But a lot of it is depending on you guys. It's not your responsibility like that, but it is your responsibility to talk to kids, but you got to get your own self in order first, too. So, again, I have a nonprofit organization called F.A.C.T.S. F.A.C.T.S is the acronym and abbreviation for Financial Allies Creating Tailored Solutions. I'm not acting in the capacity of financial advisor no more. I consult. We talk to people about just trying to increase their comprehension levels and their education base on the basics. We teach them how to build a solid financial house. Why the hell are we talking about a level 4 investment like cryptocurrency and you ain't took care of level 1 yet? You're 30 years old, you got 2 kids, a wife, and you ain't got no life insurance. You don't have 3 to 6 months worth of emergency savings set aside in case financial Jenny Craig come knocking at your door. You don't have any debt reduction, debt elimination. You keep allowing these people to run. If I sat there, man, I got a 840-something score, you gonna try to give me a credit card for 20%? Come on now. I look like Boo Boo the Fool? No, we're not doing that. So at the end of the day, and I'll close out with this, gentlemen, we have to get up on top. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to get up on top of our game as far as, well, we don't have to, but it would behoove you to do so. If not, we're going to keep being a laughing stock, and I hate that. Because, again, I come from around the way. I just learned. I got an opportunity. My parents sacrificed. They taught me how to take a bath once a month, taught me how to read and write real good and to count even better. You feel me? So we got to take advantage. We don't have any more conditions. We got a lot of excuses on why we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We got people of color in these positions that can teach us. Hell, go to YouTube University, whatever you got to do, but you got to start learning. And I understand the basketball, I understand everything else in life, but I'm biased. We got to get up on top. Fitness and finance. Ain't no need in getting in shape, extending your lifestyle or your life expectancy, right? And then you broke. But ain't no need in having that money either. And now you got all this money and you're not in any shape to enjoy it. And you roll into your convertible. Now I'm 60 years old. I'm up on top of my game. You hear me? Real talk. And I'd advise you guys to do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mo.
Yes, sir.